Hey, it is so great to be here today with Kira Wood with Jolie Boudoir. This is Carrie with Carrie Carico Real Estate. And so today we're going to hop in and chat about all like the top questions everyone has before they do a boudoir shoot or they're thinking about it. So all the misconceptions, the things that make you nervous and you think maybe you don't want to do this. So that's what we're talking about today. So Kira, how's it going?
Pretty good. I have been mega busy. I had a
Yeah.
Black Friday sale and it blew out of the water, sold out within 2 days. So yeah, I'm good.
Very cool. Yeah. I've been busy because we've been doing the 12 days of Christmas, which is pretty amazing. And I know you participated in that. So that has been a hot mess, but it's been fabulous. And I'm excited for all everybody who's won prizes and who are going to win prizes on that one. So that's what I've been up to. Cool. So what do you have planned this weekend?
So this weekend I'm doing something that has been on my bucket list for a while. I'm going to New Orleans. And the reason I'm going is because we're doing like a workshop shootout with this group of photographers that
Yeah.
I travel with. So in addition to, visiting New Orleans, I get to do a shoot there. So I'm very excited about that.
That's cool. Yeah, I've been to New Orleans. It's a nice place. It won't be as cold down there. But yeah, you're gonna definitely get some beignets, right?
Yes, yes,
Very
yes.
cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll
I
like
have a
it.
whole checklist.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you'll like it. It's very walkable to the city. So
Yeah,
I think I walked most all the time when I was there.
yeah.
So
I've heard that, so I'm excited.
yeah, it should be pretty fun. I'll be excited to see the pictures you take when you're come
Yeah,
back. For sure. Okay, so let's move right into some of your questions. Well, people ask me about getting a photo shoot with you,
I
and I'm
know.
like,
I know.
um, these are probably
You
questions you
like
should
you
have.
like my wing woman.
People are like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, you should probably ask Kira these questions. But but I know, I mean, most of them I know the answers, but I do always ask, I always tell them, I'm like, definitely ask Kira because I don't know what you're supposed to wear. I mean, she'd be the better person to, chat with you about that. So, first question, people always ask me, what do I wear? And how am I going to know what to wear? So, how do you answer that?
So what I do is once the person books the shoot, I
Mhm.
will give them a prep guide, and the prep guide is pretty lengthy, and it
Yeah.
goes through different outfit ideas, colors you should choose, how things should fit, um, and where to shop. Because that a
Okay.
lot of people have no clue. A lot of people doing this haven't even worn lingerie. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for, though. I want to help you. I want to make sure that you feel good. And that is like my number one tip. Anything that you're wearing, make sure you feel good in it. Because if you don't feel good in it, it's going to transfer onto, the camera too. And you're going to be able to tell that you feel awkward and uncomfortable. So, in addition to the prep guide, I have people that can come in for a consultation with me. We'll talk about the outfits that I think they should wear. Um, we try to figure out the vibe that they want to go for because some
Mhm.
people like that real glammed up, sexy Victoria's Secret look. But then some women like to be that girl next door t-shirt,
Mhm.
um, you know, boy shorts, that sort of look. So I kind of
Yeah.
figure out what vibe they're going for, and then we go from there. And I can tell you, like from my own personal experience, because I mean, our body types. We're
Yeah.
curvy, but we're not plus size, and that is very difficult to find outfits for that body shape. So I know exactly what my clients are going through. So I give them tips and tricks on what to find, where to shop, how things should fit. Colors are very important.
Mhm.
Photography industry, jewel tones look good on just about every skin tone there is.
Yeah.
Jewel tones. And when people are like, well, what does jewel tones mean? You want to think about the color of like gemstones, like
Mhm.
ruby red, a sapphire, emerald. Those kind of colors look really good on just about everyone. And
Yeah.
then in addition to that, I say go for neutrals. So neutrals or jewel tones. Don't come in with like hot pink. Not going to look well with the lighting that I use. It's just not going to look great.
Yeah. So when they're going through this phase, they can also send you like their examples, correct? Is that,
Absolutely.
and you'll give them like feedback on that?
Yeah, and I've had people, um, say we can't meet up for a consultation, which is totally fine. They'll just send
Mhm.
me their measurements, like what they are on top, what their dress size is, and then again, back to that vibe, whatever vibe they're going for. And then
Mhm.
based on that, I can send them some recommendations on where to start.
Okay.
Biggest tip I have though, I cannot shop for you. I just can't. You're gonna have to order a bunch of stuff and just try it all on. Send back
Mhm.
what doesn't feel good, doesn't work. Just order a ton, and then that's gonna be the best way to find out what you feel good in, what you feel sexy in. So I mean that's really the best thing that they can do.
Yeah. And like another question, just kind of off the cuff, is
Mhm.
like they're gonna need shoes, correct? Or no?
Yeah. Not necessarily. I will say that high heels do make a huge difference in the photos and how you stand. It's
Mhm.
just going to make your posture better. I
Mhm.
do have women that come in that are just very anti high heel. That's fine. If you want to go barefoot, I can make that work.
Yeah.
However, I do, you know me, I'm a shoe girl.
Yeah.
My studio, I have tons of sizes from
Yeah.
size 6 all the way up to
Uh-huh.
size 11. I collect shoes everywhere I go. So if you're not a high heel girl, I've got you.
Yeah. So you were talking about like what the like kind of theme, but you can actually do a full themed session, correct? So if somebody wants, I don't know, like a full Victoria fashion kind of look session, or I don't even know what else, you can do that, right? You can set up themed
Yeah.
sessions. Okay.
Yeah, so if someone, like you said, Victoria's Secret, if they come in and
Mhm.
they're like, "I really just love that look," I even have the angel wings. They can pretend to
Okay.
be, freaking Victoria's Secret angel for a
Yeah.
day. I have the wings. That is an add-on. But yeah, I can help them from start to finish with that kind of look. And if like, they're more of the girl next door look, I can do a whole theme on that.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. The next big question I think people ask me, um, and also, and I'm like, and I can answer this question, but for everybody else, maybe if you answer the question, what am I going to do with my hair and my makeup? I can't get my makeup to look like that or my hair. How does that work?
So I have professionals. I have about 5 or 6, well, I've added another one. So I have
Yeah.
about 5 or 6 ladies that I rotate between. They're all phenomenal. We work with every skin tone. We work with every type of hair. They can do anything. We can do a super high glammed up look. We can do a very soft, romantic look. We do false lashes with every session too, and yes, we provide those. So really,
Mhm.
you don't have to know how to do any of it. You can come in
Okay.
and just
Just show
say,
up.
what do you think is going to look best on me? We'll
Yeah.
look at your outfits, and then we'll match the hair and makeup to go kind of along with those outfits. But yes, that is one thing that separates me from some of the other boudoir photographers too.
Mhm.
And I've heard this a lot for the big cities like Charlotte and Raleigh, that a lot of them will make you go find your own hairstylist, make you
Mm.
find your own makeup artist. And I want the process to be as simple as possible. I want you to come in there and just have it be a total pampering day. I don't want you to have to worry about finding a makeup artist. So I've got that. I've also have makeup artists that I can provide based on what kind of look you want to go for.
Yeah.
If you want like high drama, high glam, I've got a girl for that. If you
Okay.
want very simple, I've got a girl
Mhm.
for that too. So
Mhm.
that's something, if you are worried about makeup, if you're someone that doesn't wear a ton and you're like, I'm really scared of makeup, just let me know ahead of time and I'll get you the right person.
Okay. So, and then also like you do like you were mentioning, you want this to be an experience. So it's an all-inclusive kind of experience, correct? Because I think
Absolutely.
some people are like, well, can I just a la carte that? And I'm like, I don't think so, because I think it's just kind of what you do. Is that correct?
Yeah, so really it's a luxury experience.
Okay.
And like I said before, I don't want you to have to worry about anything. So yeah, everything's all inclusive,
Okay.
aside from the outfits, of course. Those are
Yeah.
those I don't provide because, I photograph women from a size double zero, up to a size 22. So I don't keep the outfits in there because
Mhm.
that's a lot for me to keep up with.
Yeah.
And from watching other photographers that have those client closets, as they're called, a
Yeah.
lot of times I watch those photographers end up with so much stuff that they end up having to purge because they've just
Yeah.
got so much and they can't, they can't make every person happy. But yeah, it's an all-inclusive
Okay.
everything. It's a
Okay,
luxury
cool.
experience. Yeah.
Well, and it's a lot of hours too, so it's kind of like
Yes.
a day experience too, I would say. I mean, it's just an experience, period.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so another like let's switch topics, and this is the biggest topic, and I know we can kind of go on forever about this topic, but people are always like, I can't do a boudoir shoot because I look fat. How can I pose? I can't pose like that. So let's dive into all those, questions and concerns that everyone has about how they look.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to let you just chat about it because you're the one that deals with this all the time. How would you answer all those questions and or like what are the main questions that you hear from people?
People are always afraid. They always say to me, "I don't know what to do. I don't know
Yeah.
how to what kind of facial expression to do. I don't know. I don't expect you to know how to pose. That's my job. I've been doing this for well over 13 years.
Yeah.
Um, as we were talking about in the beginning of the video, the
Yeah.
workshop that I'm going to, you know that I go to several of those a
Yeah.
year, and I've been doing that since I started. And that's another thing that separates me from other boudoir photographers. I'm
Mhm.
always learning. I don't think I'm the best, but I want to keep learning new ways to pose people. I want to be able to
Mhm.
pose every shape and size. That's You don't need to worry about the posing. I'll do that. A lot of people will compliment me on the way that I do pose. I've done some like behind the scenes videos on
Yeah.
how I pose people, how I get them from point A to point B. But a lot of that is just it's experience. That's part of what you're paying for. You're
Yeah.
paying for an expert. I decided many years ago to make this my niche.
Mhm.
And so that's all I focus on. I focus on posing, lighting, facial expressions. And I
Mhm.
will say it does when you first get there into the studio after we do hair and makeup and we get you in the first outfit and we're ready to go. There's probably going to be about 10 minutes where you are feeling a little awkward and
Mhm.
uncomfortable. But you know me, I'm a big goofball. I have
Yeah.
zero filter. After
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes, I've got you so comfortable and relaxed.
Mhm.
You start mirroring my facial expressions. I demonstrate all the poses for you too. So
Mhm.
um, I'll have you watch me and then you're going to copy me. And then if something's not right, I'll just come up and adjust your arm, adjust your leg, move your
Mhm.
hair to the right spot. Um, and honestly, well, with my no filter, if
Yeah.
something doesn't look right, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say, you know what, this is just not working. Let's scratch this, try something new.
Yeah.
So yeah, your part of it is you're paying for the experience. I have a ton of experience posing all shapes and sizes. I'm not a skinny little girl myself, so I know um, what poses are going to look best if you're a little bit on the curvy side, or say you have like the mommy tummy and you're very worried about that. Don't worry, I got poses that will hide that, or not exactly hide it, but kind of camouflage it a little bit so that you feel
Yeah.
confident and comfortable. So yeah, you don't have to worry about what to do with your hands, with your face, anything. I've got all that taken care of.
So what's your suggestion? Because I always hear this, I can't do it until I lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds, or no, I can't do it yet. What do you
Yeah.
say to that?
So honestly, the 10 pounds it's gonna make no difference, I
Yeah.
promise you. Even the 20 pounds. Now,
Yeah.
20 pounds or more, it might make a little bit of a difference, but those last 10 pounds, don't worry about it. If that's what's holding you back, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I just that is I hear that all the time. I've got to lose those last few pounds. It does not matter. Because back to the posing, the way that I pose you, you're not even gonna be able to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
So
and also if you keep putting it off, it could be something like, my little old lady that told me you got to love the way you look now because in 10 years you're going to wish you would look that way.
mhm.
So, in some of that sense, I think you should just go for it if that's what you want to do because you're going to love the way you look when you see them in 10 years. You're going to be like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't realize I look that good." So I think that's always something to think about, you know?
Well, think about when you were in your 20s and you
Yeah.
probably felt like, oh my gosh, I know I did. I just felt like I
Yeah.
was so overweight. Now I
Mhm.
would give anything,
Yeah.
anything to be back to the way I looked in my 20s. But at the time it felt terrible. But yeah, I agree with you. It's just kind
Yeah.
of, yeah.
Yeah, that little old lady, she was the smartest lady ever that I met. Yeah, that used to work at the White House. I know I've told you about her. And
Yeah.
yeah, she was super smart. But you
Yeah,
know,
there's actually I don't if you've ever watched Schitt's Creek, I don't think you have watched Schitt's
no.
Creek, but there's this whole thing on Moira. She does this whole spat about take as many naked pictures as you can. Love yourself right now. It's like
Yeah.
the best line, and she's absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah.
I've done it at two stages in life.
Yeah.
I never did it before I had kids because it wasn't really a thing. So I did it after I had my first baby, about
Mhm.
3 years, and then I did it recently. And to be honest, I'm probably close to the largest size I've ever been in my life, but I still did it and I felt amazing and the
Yeah.
photographer made me feel good and I don't regret it. So I've never had any woman come in and go, man, I really shouldn't have done that boudoir session. No one
Yeah.
has ever said that.
Yeah.
Usually
I
they're talking about it like 5 years later.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I couldn't imagine that they said that. So one other question, and it kind of is like off topic, but I just want everyone to know out there. Do you do destination sessions? Because I know people have asked me that question, and I
Yeah,
just want to ask you.
that's a great question.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to manifest that I will absolutely do a destination session.
Mhm.
Um, Obviously, there's travel fees involved that are not with my normal sessions, but I will absolutely do a destination session. I told you I'm trying to manifest it. It's like on my vision board. Let's freaking go. Now, I couldn't do it obviously when I had little kids, but now
Yeah.
I'm at a point where I can easily leave them for a week and be completely fine. But I do have some people like in Idaho in Boise that have reached out to me where our parents live,
Yeah.
and I've already there's one lady that I've already worked it out with, and I plan to shoot her next time I go there. And then I've had some people ask if they could meet me in Vegas for a shoot, and I'd be totally down with that.
Yeah.
My dream session is Paris. Maybe one day I'll
Yeah.
get
That would be a good
the
one.
video session in Paris. But if anybody wants to pay for me to go to Paris, let
Yeah.
me know.
Well, and
Yes.
if you need an assistant too, that you can put that on your, I'll go to Paris with you.
This is my behind the scenes assistant. She's going to take all the photo and video for us. I hope you don't mind. Yeah, totally.
I'll pick the locations for you.
Sounds great. Yes. Oh, she's my location scout. Yeah, we
Yeah,
have to pay her
I'm
for
the
that.
location scout. Yeah, I'll figure out everything.
Let's
Um,
go.
for a small fee.
Yeah.
I'm good at that. Like
For a small
location.
fee. Yeah. I love
Um,
it. You're like for a small fee.
well, you know I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
am.
Time is money. Let's go. Yes.
Okay, so now the other question is, okay, so now I've got all these pictures. What do I do with them? What am I going to use these for? Like, do I really need all these pictures? What do people do with the images that you create?
So, first of all, let's go ahead and clear this up. You do not have to do a boudoir session for somebody else. You
Yeah.
do not have to give these photos to anybody. Both of my sessions, even though I was married during the first session, they were not for him. I've never done a session for anybody but
Mhm.
myself. I
Mhm.
have gorgeous albums. So, albums are my big seller. I
Okay.
have I have this package I put together and it's called the customer favorite. It's called that
Mhm.
for a reason
Mhm.
because it includes everything that somebody would typically want. So
Yeah.
it's a custom album that is designed by me and it's printed in Portugal. That most people end up getting that. And in addition to that, they also get the digitals to go with it.
Oh,
But
okay.
so yeah, so that's typically what people get. They get either digitals or they get my customer favorite package with the luxury design, custom design albums. They're so gorgeous. I just can't even.
Yeah, the quality is it's pretty
Quality
sweet.
is amazing. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what most people do with these. And it's just I also think it's like one of these things, as women, we're constantly overloaded with these images of these perfect
Yeah.
women. flawless skin, perfect body, whatever. And sometimes it just affects your mental health. So I
Yeah.
always tell people it's always fun to have your boudoir photos because when you're feeling really down about yourself, break that album out and remind yourself about how beautiful you are and how this day was just absolutely perfect and amazing and you felt stunning. So I think that's an amazing reason to do
Yeah.
this and what you should do with the images. Yeah, a beautiful album, I think.
Yeah. Well, there's so many cool ways that you can create like artwork too for the
Yeah.
wall that might work, or just tons of different items now for with images that you can put on them. So I mean, I think there's like a ton of things you can do with them. So one other question, we kind of talked about that before, but people always, well, how are the pictures going to look? Are they going to be unedited? Are they going to be edited? Or how does that work?
So I do what is called magazine style retouching.
Hmm.
And this is again part of the luxury experience, why the price point is what it is. I
Hmm.
edit from head to toe.
Okay.
So if you have bumps, bruises, acne, cellulite, um, wrinkles, anything like that, I will retouch it from head to toe. And some of the poses, maybe there's some where you're like leaning a certain way and your
Hmm.
stomach might be just not looking right. So I'll go in and retouch it so that it looks nice and smooth. I'm not trying to make you look like someone you're not. Not going to give you like, Kardashian booty or
Yeah.
that. Like I'm not trying to do that, but they're going to be really nicely retouched. So, like I said,
Okay.
head to toe. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So that is always a question. I'm trying to think other questions that people always like ask me about that. But and you design the books because again, it's your it's like they're your images, you're kind of the artist. Do they
Yeah.
get any insight or say on the design of the books, or is it
Yeah.
something you guys create together?
So what I do after your session, about one to
Mhm.
2 weeks after your session, we'll get back together and we'll
Okay.
do the viewing session.
Yeah.
During that viewing session, you'll get to see all of the images. You get to pick them out.
Mhm.
At that time, they're not fully retouched. I don't fully retouch until you pick them out because
Yeah.
otherwise that's just a ton of time. Um, but at that time during your viewing session, we talk about the order you want the images to go in, what outfit you want to start first,
Yeah.
you want any images side by side. Uh,
Hmm.
there's something that I call a centerfold image. So that's one beautiful big picture stretched across both pages of the
Okay.
album. We'll
Mhm.
talk about which picture is going to look best like that, how many you need, that sort of thing. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, it's all
Mhm.
custom
Yeah.
done like that. So
Yeah.
they do get a little bit of say so, and they'll also, a lot of people during that time will ask about the editing too. They might see something that I don't notice and ask me, hey, you know what? I have a bruise right there. Do you think you can retouch that? No
Okay.
problem. I'll make a note of it. And then after the viewing session, then it takes me about a week or two to get all the final edits done and the layout design of the book done.
Okay.
So once all that's finished, I send it over to the client so that they can preview it before I place the order.
Okay.
So during that time, they get a second chance to look through everything,
Mhm.
let me know if they want any changes made, any images switched around, or
Mhm.
if I've missed anything on the editing. I'm a human
Yeah.
being. Sometimes I miss little stuff here and there. So they'll
Yeah.
take that time to be able to say, hey, you know what? I have like a stray hair sticking out in this one photo. Can you please retouch that for me? So I'll do
Mhm.
that. And then I don't send anything off to the print shop until they're like, thumbs up, good to go, love it, place the order. Then I put
Yeah.
them.
Okay, that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you explained all of that. Okay, so one of the last topics that people they ask me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know, you got to talk to her.
Mhm.
But people are like, so how do I pay? Because I mean, this is a pretty big investment, and it's an experience. And so, I mean, it's not like your normal everyday expense. How do they pay for this? I mean, what options are there? And like, what do some of you mentioned one of the packages. I mean, you don't have to
Yeah.
go into great detail, but all of that kind of stuff. Let's talk about all that.
So
So,
the way that I have the pricing set up is you're going to need to put a retainer down ahead of
okay.
time.
Mhm.
So just a small portion to be able to book the session. It's
Okay.
usually around 20% or so.
Okay.
I do have an exact rate, but I'm going to save that for the clients that book.
Yeah.
So they'll put the retainer down, and then that retainer amount will go towards their final order. So
Okay.
when we do that viewing session, that amount that they already paid is going to be put towards their final order.
Okay.
Now, do have some people that do payment plans with
Okay.
me, and all that is a way to make small payments over time.
Okay.
Usually when people book, they're booking with me. I've had people book from 3 months ahead all the way out to a year ahead of time. So
Okay.
the time before when they book all the way up until the time they do the shoot, they can
Uh,
make small increment payments. I have a way on my system where I can set up automatic invoices. Like a lot of people choose to do $200 like biweekly or monthly, so we'll
okay.
set it up like that. So usually people can take that fee and just spread it out over time. By the time they come to view their images, they've usually got the whole session already paid for, or they only owe me like one small little
Oh,
payment.
okay.
Then they'll be done. So a lot of people are able to do the session that way. It's a lot easier than coming up with one large lump sum. So yeah,
Yeah.
they'll spread it out over time. And I do take credit cards, debit cards, cash payments, Venmo,
Okay.
PayPal, PayPal credit as well.
Okay.
So they can do any of those things over time. And I think I mean, it is a luxury experience. So
Yeah.
it's not going to be cheap. I put
Yeah.
a lot of time and effort into these. When I
Yeah.
do a session, I'm freaking exhausted afterward because
Mhm.
of how much energy it takes for me. And up until the session, I'm communicating with the client on a regular basis. So that's a lot of my time is spent communicating with the client, making sure that they're prepared for the session. And then the session date comes. And then, of course, all the editing, the product design, the prep guide. I serve a mimosa at the
Yeah.
session too, which makes it more of a pampering experience.
Yeah.
The makeup artist has their fee too, so all that's included in there. So
Okay.
retainer amount, then they can choose to make payments, or they can pay the rest of it when they come in for their session or to do their viewing session. So
Okay.
it's a lot
Okay.
more manageable that way. Um,
Yeah.
but like I said, it's a luxury experience. It's just like saving up for your favorite handbag,
Yeah.
or, your daily, I don't know how much coffee costs, but,
Yeah. We don't
$10 a
drink
day.
coffee.
Right. Well, some people though are like diehard Starbucks fans.
Yeah.
That can be up to like $10 a day.
Yeah, I was gonna say or more for one.
Right, right. Those things are
Yeah.
expensive.
Really
Or
expensive.
um, tattoos, people save up for
Yeah.
that, going on vacations, that sort of thing. So it's just another one of those luxury experiences. It's not a necessity, but it's a luxury. So, you
Yeah.
know, I can do payments though, and that's people seem to really like that option.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, and it makes sense. You're gonna have them forever. It's not like something you're gonna get rid of.
Hopefully.
So, yeah, it's definitely an experience. So, one other question I have, and I think everybody else has, is how long is this gonna take? How long is a session? What does it look like from when you walk in the door till you leave? How long typically?
That's a great question. So from the day that you do your session, it's usually
Mhm.
about 6 to 8 weeks.
Okay.
People get shocked at that because they think it's like, I'm not, I promise I'm not cutting down other photographers, but it's some people get the wrong idea because they see all these photographers doing these like quick mini sessions. It's not like that. This is a very lengthy experience. So
Yeah.
6 to 8 weeks. That includes your shoot, the viewing session, editing time, and getting the product back. So
Okay.
definitely book ahead if you can.
Mhm.
If like for Christmas right now, these people that I'm shooting now, they've been booked since September, or not
Okay.
September, since summertime. So
Okay.
that's usually kind of the timeline. People will be like August, they'll start booking for Christmas time.
Okay.
That's thing. So if you have a wedding, you're trying to do this as a groom's gift, which is like very popular. I get a lot of
Yeah.
brides in. So I want to make sure that the brides have the product in their hand with enough
Mhm.
time for their wedding so they're not, stressing out and like, for the groom's gift. So I tell people at least 6 to 8 weeks. If you can do it ahead of time, more if you can give yourself more time, even better.
Okay. How long is a session though? Like a photography session when like so how long should they expect? Because I know that a lot of people ask me, well, how long is it? Is it just like are we in and out in an hour or how long does it take?
Yeah, so it's about 2 to 3 hours, usually closer to the 3 hour mark. You have to account for the arrival time plus
Okay.
hair and makeup. Hair and makeup is about an hour to an hour and a half max.
Okay.
So after that, it's about another hour and a half, an hour to an hour and a half of shooting time. So
Okay.
I say give yourself 3 hours for the day. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's always a question that everyone has for me. Um,
yeah.
well, I'm trying to think if there's any other questions I have. I feel like there's probably a million other questions that are not coming to my mind, but those are kind of like all the top questions I feel like that people have or people that I run into always ask me. But I really appreciate you coming on and answering all these questions. And I do hope that you have fun in New Orleans. I know I'll see the pictures and I'll hear all about it.
Yeah. And
But
also, if anybody that's watching this wants to put their questions
yeah,
in video comments, I will
totally.
be glad to log in. Maybe not today, but another day. I will be glad to go under the video and go ahead and answer the question. So they can just put it right under this video, just to make it easier, so that everybody can kind of see. And honestly, there's no stupid questions. Ask me anything. I've been
Yeah.
doing this for a long time.
Yeah, and you can always DM me. You know, I know her, and I can get a hold of her. And I'll
Yeah.
also put all of Kira's information in the comments as well. But whatever questions you have, definitely reach out to Kira or I, or like I said, her information, her contact information will be below in the comments, and we'll definitely get all your questions answered. Because I know that people have a lot of questions before they're doing these event sessions. So, but thank you again, Kira, for coming on. Again, if you have any
Yeah, thanks for
questions,
having me.
reach out. Yeah.
I love talking about my business. Let's
I
go.
know. Yeah. I would like to be an assistant going to Paris, so somebody needs to schedule
Yes,
that.
please,
Or
please, somebody,
or
anybody.
Italy or Greece.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
We
I have a lot of great ideas for locations for those places. So
we
that's
could
what we
also
need.
do, yeah, we could also do some tropical place. Like,
Yeah.
let know, let's go to Turks and Caicos. Let's
Yeah.
go St. Martin.
Yeah.
I actually shot a wedding in St. Martin once, and I was like, man, a boudoir shoot. I could scout out locations for privacy reasons, but
Yeah.
beach shoot would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, the weather's great too. And again, you might need an assistant to find locations. I could do that. I could
Yeah.
figure it all out.
That'd be that'd be a good time. No, that would be they'd have a fun time, you
I
know?
think they would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd feel like a girl's day. Yeah.
Yeah, I could get the food and
Yeah.
drinks and like be a runner and just find locations.
Just
I'd have them
have a
all.
little fan and make their hair like,
Yeah, I'm good with that. That's all I want to do. And
oh,
then,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely. I could have all the locations picked out before you get up.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I sleep for sport, as you say.
I always
So
say you sleep for
you can
sport.
you can go running,
Yep.
and just,
I can figure it all everyone out and I can know
when you're
everyone too.
done.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
that's
it.
what we'll do. So hopefully somebody will come on here and see this video and have questions and want to do a destination session to one of these fabulous places. If they need a list of places, I could give them that. So
Oh God.
okay.
I love it. Man,
Okay, cool. But thank you again, Kira, with Jolie Boudoir for coming on and chatting and talking a little bit more about what she does and the top questions that people have. And they ask me about them all the time. So I'm glad that she came on to answer those because now all the questions are answered. But thank
yes.
you again. And I will talk to you later,
All
Kira.
right.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.